So that paragraph is telling you a little bit about whether it has any sort of special admissions process. Now those who are thinking of UW La Crosse, one of the things that UW La Crosse has is, anybody guess? The Academic Success Institute, where students that might not usually be accepted at UWL get an opportunity to go through the program and then start in the fall. So, then again, talk a little bit about yourself. And this one, based on my academic record, I am a very competitive candidate for admission. MMU requires students complete 4 years of English, units of English, 4 units of social studies, 4 units of mathematics, 4 units of science, 3 units of international language, and additional 14 units of college prep study. I currently meet all the requirements and will add to it my senior year. Also, my heavy number of AP classes and consequent test scores will definitely play a positive role in my possible admission. So, when you look at schools, see what their admission requirements are, and see if you're fitting them, either with your schedule or with what you're going to do. Now remember, Coleman people, remember that your one semester's class counts as a whole year. So don't forget that. When you have one semester of Spanish, that counts as a whole year of Spanish. If it's a one semester class because of the block schedule. Let me see. When it comes to testing, I also fare against the average MMU Frosh. The average ACT score is a 28 and an SAT score is 1470. I scored a 31, 15, 25 respectively and should easily meet the admission committee's requirements. Additionally, my ACT subject scores were in a healthy 700 to 725 range. I have sent my scores, including AP tests, to MMU for a committee's review. Additionally, being in the top 5% of my class really bolsters my application, as the mean class rank is in the 90th percentile for accepted Frosh. So this is just looking and comparing what you have so far against what the school is going to require from you. Now this next one's about freshman year and first year. You're going to find this in some schools. During my first year at MMU, all Frosh are assigned to the first year program in the Donald Duck College, DDC. First year students take core curriculum classes, math, English, math, science, social studies, as well as getting to explore classes and areas of interest to them. All students must declare a major and apply to be accepted to the college of their choice. As a potential fine arts student, MMU recommends I take 2 studio art, Studio 1 and Studio 2 classes during my first year. My portfolio for admittance to MMFAAEAT can only contain material from Studio 1. So, again, if you know specifically that you want to go into a certain program, find out what it takes to get into that program at a school. If right now you're still undecided, just say, right now I'm undecided and my first year at UWL, Madison, Minnesota, Twin Cities, this is a typical thing. Because all the pages are going to offer you information on what the first year experience will be like. Some will be really detailed. You do all these different things, go hiking on weekends, that type of stuff. Some of them is going to be real general. You show up, see your advisor, hopefully know what you're doing. We'll take your money, thank you. Talk to you later, bye. Depends on the school. As a potential fine arts student, again, looking particularly here at a certain program, I would have to apply to admission to MMU and then apply as a sophomore to the MMFCFAAEAT. Admission to that college is based on a GPA of 3.0 and 32 credits, recommendation from a faculty member, and review of a student portfolio. Needless to say, the competition is keen. Being a top school, MMU is pricey but not overly expensive. Annual tuition currently runs $32,500, with room and board and fees adding another $13,720. MMU offers traditional federal financial aid available through a FAFSA form, as well as assistance from the university's endowment. As a top student from my school, I feel I'm well qualified for substantive merit aid at MMU. Finally, is MMU for me? Well, as a top student, I feel ready to challenge myself, be surrounded by other students like me, serious, disciplined, and accomplished. I feel that MMU is where I belong. Given my nationally recognized artistic skills, I have no doubt that MMU is ideally fitted for me and vice versa. Yes, resoundingly, MMU is for me. I like this one because it sounds like the person's really full of themselves, and they probably are. So that's just kind of a sample of what you put together. Now, if you know anything from me, what's the one thing that I always say?
Don't copy and paste.
Don't copy and paste. And the other thing I always say is don't reinvent the wheel. So once you write your first one of these, just go back and find the information and plug it into what you've already written. Not to what I've written, but what you've written. So that way, when it gets you're looking at 2 other schools, you're just going to have to go find the information, put it in there. Now make sure it's accurate to that school and that, but like I said, it's going to be your work, so it's not like you're copying. But if anybody shows up here and talks about any of this stuff shows up, it's not going to be good for you. Pirates of the Caribbean or anything else. All right. Just some other things that are going on. Don't forget personal statement number 50. By now you should be working on topic sentences, which means you take your thesis, in this case, things are dedication, teamwork, and emotional maturity. And an example here would be the 5 topic sentences that this essay would start forming to get those 3 supporting paragraphs. Now, by Thursday, you're going to have this. I'm going to have this statement already developed into a full statement, so you can see what that looks like. So you can start working and developing that. Other things that are going on. Page 50, number 51 is another personal statement. This one's like a paragraph long, and all it says is, please share additional information you would like us to consider in reviewing your application. This is your opportunity to tell us about yourself, things about yourself that have not been asked elsewhere. If you believe they will help us become acquainted with you in ways different from scores, courses, grades, test scores. So here's again, just one paragraph. A big thing that I would encourage students to do is a lot of students in high school, they might have IEPs as they go all through grade school and middle school. When they get to high school, the schools don't renew their IEPs. They say it's, whatever. Write about that. Write about how you had an IEP in the past and you don't have when you're in high school, because a school isn't going to see that when they get your high school transcript. Likewise, a school isn't going to necessarily see that you might have 8 brothers and sisters in your family and you take care of them a lot. If you haven't read about that in 51, you might want to write about that now. Other things that are going on, I know somebody who once was in a motorcycle accident, was out for about 6 months of their junior year while they're in high school. So write about that. Again, don't make things up. If you've never been on a motorcycle, don't make up that you had a motorcycle accident, and that's why you did bad in pre-calc class. Just a reminder, personal statements, keep submitting the drafts to myself until you're done. When we say you're done, email the file to me, because I'll start keeping those in a folder that you can access when we do applications in the fall. And then the final statement will go into your portfolio. Tomorrow, I love you, tomorrow. Anybody know that song?